Ah, ice cream. That cold, creamy spoonful on a hot summer night. The frozen cheesecake you grab when guests are coming. The pint you keep stocked for those nights when nothing else will do. For many of us, frozen desserts aren't just treats. They're comfort, celebration, and the promise that something sweet is always there. But some of these brands have contamination histories linked to deaths. Others turn into slimy disasters when you serve them. Today, we're exposing 5 to avoid and 2 that are actually safe. Stay until the end. One of the safe picks is probably already in your freezer. 5. Sara Lee Pumpkin Pie. Picture this. Thanksgiving morning, guests arriving in hours and you're congratulating yourself for buying the frozen pie instead of stressing over homemade. Pop it in the oven, wait an hour, perfect dessert. Right? Wrong. You pull that pie from the oven, let it cool, slice into it, and watch orange liquid pool across the plate. The filling is soup, the crust is mush. Your Thanksgiving dessert is a disaster. Sound familiar? It should. Thousands of customers have posted the exact same photos online. Scroll through Walmart, Amazon, or Target reviews, and you'll see it over and over. Pies that look like someone poured canned pumpkin into a crust and gave up. Soup in a tin shows up so often it's become the unofficial product name. Here's the thing about pumpkin pie. It's delicate chemistry. Eggs, cream, sugar, spices, pumpkin, everything has to set perfectly when heated, then hold shape as it cools. Change one ratio and the whole thing collapses. Sara Lee changed something and now their pies don't work. Want proof? Read their own instructions. Bake 70 to 75 minutes. Put a sheet pan underneath to catch drips. Check internal temperature with a thermometer. Expect the center to shake like gelatin. Cool for 2 full hours before cutting. Those aren't normal pie instructions. Those are damage control directions for a product the company knows barely works, and that's under perfect conditions. Does your oven run exactly on temperature? Is your freezer perfectly calibrated? Did the pie sit in a warm truck during shipping? Every variable pushes this fragile formula past breaking point. The result? Filling that won't set, centers that run when you slice. Thanksgiving dessert that goes straight to trash. Tasting Table ranked this among Sara Lee's worst products. Food blogs wrote articles about how consistently it fails. These aren't food snobs nitpicking. These are regular people posting disaster photos and warning others to save their money. The taste? The few people whose pies actually set report overwhelming clove and nutmeg, while pumpkin flavor has vanished. That medicinal taste comes from aggressive spices trying to cover up weak pumpkin base. It's like shouting to hide the fact you have nothing to say. For anyone planning a holiday meal, this pie is a gamble with terrible odds. It won't make you sick, but it will embarrass you in front of family. Imagine serving pie with pride and watching liquid pumpkin pool across everyone's plates. Is that the Thanksgiving memory you want? Skip Sara Lee entirely. Buy any other brand with actual positive reviews or grab a refrigerated pie from a bakery where you can see it set before you pay. Better yet, make a 30-minute no-bake pumpkin cheesecake that actually works. Ever served disaster pie and convinced everyone it was supposed to be rustic? What did you tell your guests? 4. Trader Joe's frozen lemon bars. Trader Joe's has a cult following. People love discovering quirky finds, seasonal items, and products that feel special without costing a fortune. That loyalty runs so deep that many shoppers defend every TJ's product reflexively, even when the product clearly fails. The frozen lemon bars are one of those failures that the cult struggles to excuse. Multiple food ranking articles have placed these lemon bars at the bottom of Trader Joe's frozen dessert lineup. Tasting panels describe them as too eggy, with a weak shortbread base that doesn't balance the custard filling. That's food writer language for "this tastes wrong." And it's not just professional testers noticing the problem. Reddit threads and customer reviews repeat the same complaints. Overpowering egg flavor, thin, disappointing crust, and a strange chemical aftertaste that some people compare to Pine Sol or cleaning solution. A lemon bar should be simple. Bright, tart lemon curd on top of a buttery, crisp shortbread base. 3 ingredients. Doing 3 jobs. Citrus, cream, crunch. Trader Joe's version tips that balance completely. The curd is heavy on eggs and light on lemon, which makes it taste more like scrambled egg custard than lemon filling. The crust is so thin it barely registers, and when it does, it tastes more like compressed cookie dust than actual shortbread. That chemical aftertaste is the real red flag. When multiple people across different batches and different stores report the same off flavor, piney, solvent-like, medicinal, it's not coincidence. That kind of taste comes from citrus oil oxidation, packaging interactions, or ingredient degradation during frozen storage. Sometimes it's a single production run where something went wrong. Other times, it's a sign that the formula itself is unstable and breaks down unpredictably. Trader Joe's markets these bars as convenient single-serve treats, but reviewers call the portions laughably small, more like samples than actual desserts. So you're paying for a tiny bar that tastes off, doesn't deliver the bright lemon flavor you expect, and leaves you wondering why you didn't just make lemon bars from scratch or buy them from a bakery. The cult loyalty makes this product particularly frustrating. Online, TJ's fans will bend over backward to defend even the worst items, blaming user error or bad luck instead of admitting the product just isn't good. But when food professionals, casual shoppers, and devoted fans all report the same problems independently, the issue isn't with the customers, it's with the product. For seniors or anyone with a limited appetite, a disappointing dessert isn't just annoying, it's a wasted opportunity. If someone only wants a few bites of something sweet, those bites need to deliver. A lemon bar that tastes like eggs and chemicals doesn't bring joy. It just gets left on the plate, and that means lost calories, lost pleasure, and a caregiver who has to find something else that works. If you want lemon bars, buy them fresh from a bakery or make a simple batch at home with real lemon juice, butter, and eggs. Homemade lemon bars take less than an hour and taste infinitely better than anything that comes out of a Trader Joe's freezer box. And if you're loyal to TJ's, save that loyalty for the products that actually deserve it, not the ones failing across multiple review platforms. What's the worst Trader Joe's product you refuse to forgive? Drop the name below. 3. Bluebell Ice Cream. Bluebell sells itself on small-town Texas heritage and homemade flavor. The branding wants you to picture a local creamery, family recipes, and ice cream made the way it used to be. That nostalgia works until you look at the public record and realize this company has a contamination history most people have never heard about. In 2015, Bluebell was linked to a listeria outbreak that killed 3 people and hospitalized several others. Federal investigations found listeria in production facilities and in products that had already been shipped to stores. The company eventually pleaded guilty to shipping adulterated ice cream and paid over $17 million in criminal penalties plus additional civil settlements. Prosecutors presented evidence showing the company shipped products even after becoming aware of contamination risks. This isn't rumor or exaggeration, it's documented legal fact. 3 people died. Families lost loved ones because a company didn't stop production when it should have. That's not a minor recall or a labeling mix-up. That's a catastrophic failure of safety controls at the management level, and it cost lives. Bluebell shut down production, overhauled facilities, and eventually returned to market. Many customers came back choosing to believe the company had fixed its problems. But here's the thing about trust and food safety. Once a company shows it will prioritize profits over stopping contaminated products, that decision never fully goes away. And the safety issues didn't stop in 2015. In August 2025, Bluebell issued another recall, this time for mislabeled half-gallon containers where some flavors were packaged with lids from different flavors containing tree nuts. For someone with a severe nut allergy, that kind of packaging error can trigger anaphylaxis. It's a different kind of failure than listeria, but it shows that operational controls at Bluebell's facilities still have gaps that put people at risk. For most healthy adults, eating Bluebell ice cream probably won't cause problems. But for seniors with weakened immune systems, people undergoing chemotherapy, pregnant women, or anyone with compromised health, listeria isn't a mild illness. It can cause severe infections, hospitalization, and death. And even though the company claims it fixed everything after 2015, the fact remains. When safety failed before, it failed catastrophically. This isn't about punishing a company forever. It's about making informed choices when you're responsible for feeding vulnerable people. If you're buying ice cream for an elderly parent, someone recovering from illness, or anyone whose immune system can't fight off infections easily, choosing a brand with a cleaner safety record just makes sense. Bluebell loyalists will argue the ice cream tastes great and the company learned its lesson. Maybe that's true, but taste doesn't matter if the product makes someone sick. And learning a lesson doesn't bring back the 3 people who died or erase the evidence that management knew about risks and shipped product anyway. If you love Bluebell and you're healthy, that's your choice. But if you're a caregiver, stick with brands that have never had a deadly outbreak. There are dozens of ice cream options that taste just as good without the documented safety failures. Your freezer space isn't worth gambling on. Do you forgive a brand after a deadly outbreak? Or does that trust break forever? Tell us how you decide. 2. Taste of Inspirations Chocolate Lava Cake. Taste of Inspirations is Hannaford's private label line that promises restaurant-quality frozen desserts you can make at home in minutes. The chocolate lava cake, a single-serve dessert in a plastic tub with microwave instructions, should be simple. Heat it, flip it onto a plate, watch the molten center flow out, and enjoy. That's the promise printed on the box next to a glossy photo of perfect chocolate lava oozing onto a white plate. The reality is a product that fails almost every time you try to use it. Customer reviews tell the same story over and over. The cake sticks to the plastic container and rips apart when you try to remove it. The molten center either stays solid or pools uselessly at the bottom, leaving the cake dry and broken. Trying to pry it out burns your fingers because the plastic gets scorching hot in the microwave. And even when you manage to get the cake onto a plate intact, it often tastes bland, overly sweet, or weirdly chemical. The problem is that microwave lava cakes are inherently difficult to engineer. You need the outer cake to set while keeping the inner chocolate liquid, and that requires precise timing, even heating, and a container that releases cleanly. But microwaves vary wildly in power. A 70-second instruction that works in one kitchen will overcook the cake in another or leave it cold and rubbery in a third. Add a cheap plastic container that wasn't designed for even heat distribution, and you've got a product that only works under ideal conditions most kitchens don't have. Reddit threads and retailer reviews show people trying different heating times, different power levels, even transferring the cake to different containers before microwaving. Nothing works consistently. When a product requires that much troubleshooting just to function as advertised, it's not user error, it's a design failure. And then there's the taste. The chocolate filling, when it actually flows, is thin and overly sweet without the rich, slightly bitter depth a good lava cake needs. The cake itself tends to be either dry and crumbly or gummy depending on how long you microwaved it. One tasting roundup ranked this lava cake as one of the weakest single-serve frozen desserts available, specifically calling out poor proportions and weak chocolate flavor. For anyone buying this as a quick treat for a senior or someone with limited dexterity, it's worse than disappointing. It's a safety risk. Trying to remove a stuck, burning hot cake from a flimsy plastic tub can cause burns, and broken cake pieces can be a choking hazard for people who have trouble chewing or swallowing. A dessert that creates stress and potential injury isn't worth any amount of convenience. Private label frozen desserts often fail because they're outsourced to the lowest cost manufacturer. Hannaford doesn't make this cake. They contract with a bakery that produces similar items for multiple store brands. That fragmented production process means less quality control, cheaper ingredients, and formulas that barely work even when everything goes right. If you want molten lava cake, buy one designed to bake in the oven where you control the temperature and timing, or make a simple version at home with a ramekin and 10 minutes of prep. Microwave lava cakes from private labels are a gamble that usually ends in frustration, wasted money, and a ruined dessert that goes straight into the trash. What's your worst microwave dessert disaster? Stuck cake, melted plastic, or something even worse? 1. Great Value Whipped Cheesecake. If there's one frozen dessert that embodies everything wrong with cheap private label products, it's Walmart's Great Value Whipped Cheesecake. This isn't just a mediocre dessert that disappoints. It's a product that fails so completely and so consistently that it's become infamous among anyone who's ever tried to serve it. The core problem is structural. A cheesecake needs 3 things to work: a dense, creamy filling that holds its shape, a sturdy crust that supports the filling, and proper water management so nothing weeps or separates when it thaws. Great Value's whipped cheesecake gets all 3 wrong. The filling isn't real cheesecake. It's a whipped dairy mousse with a thin flavoring of cream cheese, designed to feel light and airy rather than dense and rich. That airy texture collapses when it thaws, and moisture separates out into a thick, slimy pool that collects at the bottom of the container. Multiple reviews and tasting articles describe opening the package after thawing to find a layer of disgusting liquid puddled around the base, an immediate visual rejection that makes you want to throw the whole thing away before even tasting it. The crust makes things worse. Instead of a buttery, slightly crumbly graham cracker base, Great Value uses something hard and unpleasant that reviewers describe as cement-like. It doesn't soften during thawing, so you end up with a soggy, collapsing top and a bottom that's too hard to cut cleanly. The mismatch between textures is so jarring that even people who try to salvage the dessert end up scraping the filling off and tossing the crust. This isn't a one-off complaint or bad luck with a single batch. Tasting roundups, retailer reviews, and social media posts all report the same failures independently. Tasting Table explicitly ranked this cheesecake as one of the worst frozen desserts you can buy, and review sections on Walmart's own website show customers posting photos of the slimy puddles and advising others to avoid the product entirely. When over half of a product's reviews are 1-star ratings describing the same structural collapse, that's not subjective taste preference. That's a product that doesn't work. And when people say they threw the entire cheesecake away rather than serve it, that's expensive waste for a dessert that's supposed to save you time and effort. For caregivers trying to feed seniors with small appetites, this failure is particularly frustrating. A bad-tasting dessert means lost calories, lost enjoyment, and someone who might refuse dessert entirely next time because the last one was disgusting. Older adults who rely on small pleasures like a slice of cheesecake after dinner don't have room for disappointments. Every bite needs to deliver, and Great Value's whipped cheesecake delivers nothing but regret. The worst part is the trust issue. Great Value trades on price and convenience. It's supposed to be the smart budget choice that frees up money for other groceries. But when a $6 dessert goes straight into the trash every time you buy it, that's not savings. That's wasted money on a product Walmart keeps selling despite knowing it fails. If you want cheesecake, buy one from a local bakery where you can see it's properly set, or choose a higher-rated frozen brand that actually holds together through thawing. If you're hosting, never risk Great Value whipped cheesecake. It's the dessert equivalent of serving something that's already spoiled. Ever brought a cheap dessert to a party that made everyone lose their appetite? What happened? After walking through contamination outbreaks that killed people, desserts that turn into slimy puddles, and pies that refuse to set, no matter how carefully you follow the instructions, you might be wondering if there's any frozen dessert worth buying at all. The good news? There is. We found 2 options that deliver exactly what they promise: real ingredients, consistent quality, and desserts that actually taste good without gambling on whether they'll work. Let's talk about the frozen treats that won't betray you. Safe. Pick 1. Klondike Original Ice Cream Bar. If the frozen aisle were a nostalgia museum, Klondike would be front and center. The original Klondike bar hasn't changed much in decades. Vanilla ice cream wrapped in a thin chocolate shell, individually wrapped in silver foil, boxed in a way that makes kids and adults feel like they're doing something indulgent without the guilt of eating a whole pint. That simplicity is exactly why it makes our safe list. Klondike doesn't pretend to be artisan or small batch or made with ingredients you've never heard of. It's just ice cream and chocolate doing exactly what they're supposed to do, and they do it consistently every single time. The bar is engineered for reliability. The chocolate shell is thin enough to crack with a satisfying snap when you bite into it, but not so thick that it tastes waxy or artificial like cheaper novelty bars. The vanilla ice cream inside is light and airy, formulated to stay soft enough at home freezer temperatures that you don't need to wait 10 minutes before eating it. And because each bar is individually portioned, you know exactly what you're getting: about 250 calories, 14 grams of fat, and 60 milligrams of sodium per bar. No guessing, no surprises. For caregivers managing portion control or watching sugar intake for someone with diabetes, that predictability matters. 1 bar equals 1 serving equals 1 set of numbers you can track. Compare that to scooping from a pint where every serving size is a guess, and Klondike's structure becomes a practical advantage. The brand also offers variations: smaller bars, no sugar-added options, and different coatings, which gives you flexibility without switching brands entirely. And because Klondike is mass-produced at scale by Unilever, the company has documented quality controls and validated freezing processes that reduce the risk of contamination or batch inconsistency. Large manufacturers have their problems, but when it comes to frozen novelties, scale usually means fewer surprises in your freezer. Klondike isn't fancy. It's not trying to be, but it's reliable, portion-controlled, and delivers the exact experience you expect every single time you open the wrapper. For frozen desserts, that consistency is worth more than any premium label. What's your Klondike memory? Childhood treat or guilty pleasure you still keep stocked? Safe. Pick 2. Aldi Specially Selected Super Premium Vanilla Ice Cream. If you want proof that quality doesn't require a premium price tag, walk into Aldi and grab their specially selected vanilla ice cream. This is the pint that makes ice cream snobs do a double take when they taste it, then check the label to confirm it only costs $3.50. The ingredient list is short and clean: cream, skim milk, sugar, egg yolks, vanilla extract. That's it. No gums, no stabilizers, no long chemical names you can't pronounce. It's the same ingredient list you'd find on a $7 pint from a craft ice cream brand, except Aldi sells it for half the price. The texture is what wins people over. Aldi's super premium line has a higher butterfat content than regular ice cream, which makes it dense, creamy, and rich. The kind of mouthfeel that coats your spoon and melts slowly on your tongue. Reddit threads and food blogs consistently call it surprisingly good and comparable to expensive brands, which is food reviewer code for "we can't believe this is an Aldi house brand." That richness also matters nutritionally. For seniors who struggle with appetite or need to pack calories into smaller meals, a spoonful of dense, high-fat ice cream delivers more energy and satisfaction than the same amount of low-fat frozen yogurt. When every bite counts, quality and richness make a real difference. Aldi's house brand strategy keeps this pint affordable and consistent. The company sources from a smaller network of trusted suppliers, which reduces the risk of sudden ingredient swaps or quality changes that can ruin a product overnight. And because Aldi's stores turn over inventory fast, faster than most supermarkets, the pints you buy are fresher and haven't been sitting in fluctuating backroom temperatures for months. The super premium label isn't marketing fluff. It's a real designation that means higher butterfat, denser texture, and better flavor. Aldi delivers on that promise at a price that makes it accessible to families who can't justify $8 pints, but still want something better than cheap, airy supermarket ice cream. For anyone balancing budget with quality, Aldi's specially selected vanilla proves you don't have to sacrifice taste or ingredient integrity to save money. It's one of the smartest freezer buys you can make, and it shows up reliably every time you shop. Which do you value more? Premium flavor or premium price? Tell us where you draw the line. And there you have it. 5 frozen desserts hiding contamination histories, structural failures, and enough customer complaints to fill a freezer aisle, and 2 that actually deliver what they promise without the drama. Look, we're not saying frozen desserts are the enemy. We're saying most brands lining those freezer shelves are betting you won't read reviews, check recall histories, or notice when your cheesecake turns into a slimy puddle. They're counting on convenience, nostalgia, and busy schedules to keep you buying products that fail the one job they're supposed to do: taste good and stay intact. Small choices make a massive difference. Check reviews before you buy, especially for private label products. Choose brands with clean safety records over ones with deadly outbreak histories. And when a product fails once, don't give it a second chance. There are too many better options to waste time on desserts that betray you. If this opened your eyes, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We're exposing more grocery traps, from frozen meals to hot dogs, all designed to help you shop smarter without spending hours researching every aisle. Drop a comment. Which frozen dessert are you giving up for good? And which one shocked you the most? Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, eat smart, and keep rising above the marketing.